Yeah, we all have that sometimes, don't we? Yeah. Where do you think that comes from?
Well, Barbara actually, can I say this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Barbara, yeah.
Yeah. Brought me back, and it's a feeling of not being wanted from actually being born.
Wow.
And she did great, but I still think there's something there. I don't know what it is, I don't know where it's coming from, but
It's a feeling, right?
it's a feeling that I have, that there's still something blocking me from actually going forward with anything.
And like, and so when you were born, look, you know, okay, we can't talk, we can't communicate, but we can feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So even though, you know, we haven't the ability to speak, like your subconscious mind is processing information through all your senses all the time. So if there's a feeling or an atmosphere of rejection, yeah, I think we'd sense it. You know, we've got to, haven't we?
Yeah.
You know, if you go back into the cave thousands of years ago, you needed to know where you stood. I mean, so if there was a threat of rejection, you would sense it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. That must be tough.
It is, because I feel it's stopping me from doing whatever I want to do in life. And I'd love to be able to do the healing work without questioning myself all the time. Say, well, did I do that right? Is that okay? All that.
Yeah.
So, and I feel
whatever.
it's stopping me from doing, even just going forward, even in front of a crowd or doing anything.
Okay. And tell me, there's something you stopped all your life in school, everything?
Everything.
Okay. So this is like, so basically what you're saying is you have this feeling that from the moment you were delivered, if you like, that it might probably a bad time for your parents, God knows. And that,
yeah.
and
Well, I was the seventh child at that stage, so at that stage she was probably overwhelmed.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, think about that. I mean, 7 children. You know? So obviously the first one gets all the excitement, but the second one is like, oh, here we go. It's like, yeah, you can see it, can't you?
Yeah.
But would you believe it's not personal?
Oh yeah, I do believe that. I do believe it's not personal, but I feel whatever the feeling is for me,
It's still there.
it's still there.
You want to get rid of it?
I would love to get rid of it.
Okay.
But I'm also anxious about it.
And what are you anxious about, you?
I don't know what's going to come up.
Oh, sure. It'd be a feeling, that's it.
Yeah.
That you can choose. You see, you can choose to hold on to that feeling.
I don't want it anymore. I really, really don't want it anymore. But
Okay.
I want to leave it go.
Well, then, based on what we just learned from the last induction, let's do that, yeah. Let's transportate ourselves back to that particular moment, yeah. Okay. Now, this might sound a bit odd, but this time what I'm going to ask you, imagine something slightly different. Will you just borrow your hand again, Jim? So this time, I'm going to count from 1 to 7. Each number I count, I want you to press 1, twice as hard as the last, okay? But this might sound a bit strange, but I want you to imagine what it would feel like to be in a room.
In a room?
What do you imagine that would feel like?
Cramped.
You reckon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually don't know.
What do you think? Like, would it be a comfortable thing? Like, would you have any problems with that? I mean, obviously you're safe, you're warm, you're fed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you do that for me?
Try.
No, could you do that? Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Okay, lovely stuff. So, close your eyes, Major. I want you to focus on that. It doesn't matter. Just focus on what that would be like. Star, warm, food. 1. Press down nice and hard. No, much stronger, much stronger. 2, just keep much stronger, much stronger. Keep focusing on a feeling of in its safety. 1, 3. Imagine going right back to that time. 4. Press even harder and harder. Sleep. Way down, just deeper and deeper and deeper still. And just go right back to that moment. Right back to that particular moment of time. Right back into that place. It's safe. It's warm. And right back to it. And again, subconscious part of Jerry, when you've taken it right back to that particular moment again, I want you to let us all know here by just raising our whole body in and our mind right back into the chair. Take your time. But when you're right back to that particular moment, just let us all know subconscious with us, lifting our back and our shoulders and the head into the most comfortable position for her. That's right. That's it, subconscious. When you're there, just let our whole body just bring itself back. Fantastic. With your eyes closed, just nod your head. How does it feel?
It's cozy.
Cozy. And what do you feel like? What's your instinct here? What do you feel?
Good.
Yeah. So there's no sense of anything negative or positive or anything. It's just a happy, okay feeling. Okay? That makes sense? Or what do you feel?
I'm anxious.
Feeling anxious, why? It's okay. It's okay. Why are you feeling anxious? It's okay, just let it go. Why are you feeling anxious? That's the girl, let it go. We can get rid of this very quickly. Why are you feeling anxious? Not wanting to. How do you know that, Jay? Have a feeling. Okay, lovely stuff. Just relax. I push down this way. Just relax. Okay, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Okay. So what I want you to do is, I want you to imagine, going back to Jer, in the womb before she even realises or feels that sensation of not being wanted. Imagine going back to her, Jer. Take your time, but only when you're with her in the womb, before she realises or feels this sensation of rejection, only when you're with her in that time where she doesn't realise any of this is happening, just imagine it. Yeah, good. I want you to cuddle her into your arms. A little you. Is she beautiful? Yeah, cuddle her into your arms. I want you to hold her tight. I want you to tell her something. That she's in a situation. And she could be brought into, a situation where there's 6 other children. Yeah, things are tough. Yeah, money's hard to come by. Life is life, and you probably know yourself, Jerry, to bring up 3, 4, 5 kids is a major task in life. But tell her it's only her perception, am I right? Is that true? It's only her perception, really, that's making her feel this way. Would you agree? Yeah, okay. Does anything bad happen to her when she's born and when she grows up? Oh, tell her that. Before she's born or before she feels that feeling in the womb, tell her that everything's going to be fantastic. Nothing bad will happen to her. She's going to make it through to a ripe, wonderful age, healthy and strong. And she's going to have the most fantastic friends and family, am I right? Yeah. And did she realise later on in life that she was wanted? It was just her perception was slightly off. Because I'm the youngest myself in the family, and I was very similar, you see. I've always felt that by the time they got to me, they were fed up. And I didn't get what everyone else got, but it's just my perception. But it brought me to a road of pain for a long time in my life. Now, you can choose to keep that, or choose to see the truth. And the truth is, it's not personal. Not true. The truth of it is, nothing bad really ever happened to you, Jeremy, right? I'll tell her that before she's born, that nothing bad can happen to her. It's impossible. Tell her that from the moment she's born, she's going to live life to the full. She's going to take each and every day as an opportunity. She's going to smell the air differently. She's going to breathe differently. She's going to think and feel and love differently. Why? Because she's perfect. Am I right? Is she stunning? Stardust, am I right? Yeah. She is perfect. So before she gets that moment in the womb of that feeling, hug her tightly, give her a big kiss and tell her you love her. Tell her she's perfect. And nothing bad can happen. Does she know later on in life that she was loved? Yeah, does she know that? Yeah. Does she know she still is? Well, tell her that then. And imagine her smiling back at you going, really? You go, yeah, you are special. Yeah, you're perfect. In fact, what I want you to tell her is something interesting. Tell her that she has much right to be happy as anybody else on this planet. She has as much right to be free. Why? Do you know why, Jerry? Because she's as good as anybody else on this planet. Doesn't matter whether you're royalty or not, she's still as good as them. She's perfect. And tell her she can have 2 choices in life. She can be afraid to fail, and she can live in a prison in her own mind. Or she can give herself permission to fail and escape. And give her that choice right now. Because the decision she makes right now, Jer, will determine how she feels from this moment on. As a hypnotist, as a mom, friend, sister, daughter. Give her permission to go out in life and have fun, take chances. And to be stand up and to be noticed in front of people, the opposite from hiding. To be stand up and be noticed. And when she truly understands that, I want you to imagine her back in the exact same situation in the womb, where previously she felt negative about the whole thing. How does she feel now?
Happy.
Does she feel good? Good. And so she should. Again, so just push down your shoulders, 3, 2, 1, just deeper, deeper, deeper still. You're going to find your head just sort of gently rises by itself, Jerry. It'll be a lovely, comfortable spot for you, and you just find that lovely, lovely sensation. That's okay. Jerry, what I want you to do is try and feel no good. See, you know? Well, try and feel not good enough. What are you thinking? No, seriously, what are you thinking? Try and feel not good enough.
I am trying.
Okay, sorry, I'll give you time. Try and feel not as good as anyone anywhere here. Imagine someone looking down their nose at you. Huh? Have they any right to do that to you? Is it personal? No. Does it matter? Are you going to waste your time and energy worrying about someone else's thoughts about you? Not anymore. Okay. You see, you could choose to let other people's opinion of you determine how you feel. So what that means is, one moment somebody could say, Jerry's a lovely person, and you could feel really good. And then you could hear them 5 minutes later saying, no, I don't like her. And then you feel horrible all day. Now, they could change their mind about you 25 times a day, and you wouldn't keep up with them. And even if you did, it wouldn't change who you are. Because you are a unique and special person. You have as much right to be on this planet as anybody else. You're as good as anybody else. And you're entitled to as much fun as anybody else. Why? Because you're perfect, Jerry. Yeah. So in a moment we're going to count from 1 to 3, and on the count of 3 the eyes will open, but the eyes are going to open into a perfect world. A perfect world where you don't really give a damn what people think. You're done and dusted. It's tiring, that, isn't it? Very tiring, isn't it? Much of your life has been taken away because you've cared about what other people think of you. Yeah, you've held back all your life there. Well, today is a chance for you to walk out of here and take it all back and have fun and be you, Jerry. Be the real you. The real you that's perfect. So 1, slowly, easily, effortlessly, just feel yourself come back to normal levels of awareness. 2, as all those suggestions remain deep, deep, deep down in your mind, and on the count of 3, the eyes will open into a perfect world for perfect Jerry. That's right. Nice job. Give it a round of applause. Wow. Oh, listen. Yeah. So, if you don't mind, we'll give you a moment to just maybe just get some.
Tissue.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Might just get some feedback on that.